Drinking Socially, the official Untappd podcast.
Your weekly look into what's happening in the Untappd community and the world of beer.
This episode is brought to you by Untappd and the Untappd merchandise store. Check out store.untappd.com and use the coupon code PODCAST to get 20% off of anything you order. It's Christmas every day here at Drinking Socially. And remember to like and subscribe to us if you're watching us on YouTube or Simplecast, podcast.untappd.com, Apple Tunes, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher. Hit that subscribe button so you know every time we put a new episode out. And here's Harrison.
Yo ho ho, and a bottle of Schwarz beer? That's right. Well, mostly right. It's a can tonight, but we're going to get to that in a minute. But who needs buried treasure when you have beer? What am I talking about? Well, this episode, we're going to be going after a badge that actually has some of my favorite artwork of any of the Untappd badges, the Schwarzbuckler Badge. And to earn it, we're going to be enjoying the most recent release of Flying Machine Brewing Company's Lager Mountain series, Nightfall on Lager Mountain. Schwarz beers are great all year, but really they become a go-to of mine kind of when we're transitioning into or out of the winter season, which we are right now. It's because it's really got like a body to hold up to the colder nights, but it's still crushable if you happen to luck out with like a 60-degree day in between two snowstorms. So grab your favorite black German lager and the closest talking parrot you can find and prepare to drink up, me mateys. But first, John, talk to us about this golden doubloon of a badge. What do we have here this evening?
Avast ye cutlass, hogwash, slash-buckling matey.
There he is.
Who wouldn't talk like a pirate if you got an opportunity?
Yeah.
The Schwarzbuckler Badge. The description: Ahoy, Schwarzbuckler! Beware of evil Blackbeard, BEERD, as you sail the dark sea of suds, matey.
Love it.
So the description is punful, and it makes me laugh. But the important thing to take away as well is, in order to earn the Schwarzbuckler Badge, you need to drink a Schwarz beer. Also, on Untappd, it'll qualify if you drink a dark lager or a Euro dark lager to unlock this badge. If you're stuck in Dunkel land, that's fine too. You'll just earn the Take a Dunk badge instead, and that's totally fine.
Absolutely. And maybe we'll talk about that badge someday. We probably will if I have anything to say about it, which I kind of do. But that's in the future.
Don't let it go to your head.
You're right. I would never. So in the present, we are enjoying this evening Nightfall on Lager Mountain. From Flying Machine Brewing Company, which we spoke about a lot last episode, and we talk about a lot. I mean, they're a local brewery. They're great. These guys are awesome. And this beer kind of came out. I had one, and I was like, holy cowabunga, I want to do the Schwarzbuckler Badge. And so here we are. So it's a Schwarz beer or style, in the Schwarz beer style, 5.4% ABV. It's a 4.07 bottle cap rating on Untappd. Only about 135 seconds, though. But yeah, it's really good. And they're always very simple with their descriptions. So they're just a dark German lager that boasts notes of chocolate and coffee, but in that crushable lager body. Yes. And so kind of mentioned in the start, they're doing a series right now called Lager Mountain. There's like Escape from Lager Mountain, which I think had like rice in it. And there was another one that was like an Italian-style Pilsner. They did all kinds of different cool lagers so far. And this is the newest one, a Schwarz beer-style dark lager. So, John, it looks like you've already
taking a check-in photo?
Taking a check-in photo, but you've dove it into this, the dark waters that are the Schwarz beer. What do you know?
I'm sad that I don't know what the pirate term is for dark waters.
Davy Jones Locker, something like
that. Well, it's a send-off, yeah. It's like Davy Jones' old socks.
Right.
Anyways, let's talk about the beer, not
pirate socks.
Shark bait water, pirate socks. So It first smell, it reminds me, and this is just built. I'll never outgrow this. When I first went to put my nose up to this beer, I thought of Uinta's Baba Black Lager.
Right.
That was like an introduction to a black lager to me years ago, and that's right where the nose takes me on this. But the sip is, I mean, I don't know how to explain it as eloquently as I hope that you do when I pass the torch to you, but it's coffee, it's chocolate, but then it's got this lagery body. It's almost, I mean, it's kind of like if there was like a stout LaCroix, right? Like you get all the flavors or thoughts of raspberry, but then when you drink it, it's like, I could just drink 1,000 of these. There's nothing here. I don't mean that as a ding towards this beer. It tastes like a way for me to drink a coffee, chocolatey, delicious beer, but drink a lot of it because it doesn't have that kind of heft that I get in a oatmeal lactose stout.
Right, exactly.
What do you think, Harrison? You've already got plenty in your mustache.
I do. That's where it has to pass through the mustache first. It's kind of like my gating system. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, this is, again, a kind of, this style, what attracts me to it, and this is a great example of it, is it's got a lot of flavor happening. Like John said, it's kind of like got a lot of the stoutness of a stout, but mixed with a lager. It's like a lagery stout, but that sounds dumb. Schwarz beer sounds amazing. So, yeah, and it's got a nice roast note to it. It's kind of like, it's like, it's the best cup of decaf coffee you've ever had. Maybe that's a way of saying
perfect.
It.
Well said.
Like
that's perfect.
Right. It's not, because it's not crazy, and that's on purpose. Like, it's a lager, right? So it's got to be crisp and clean, and you can't be like crazy and overwhelming and be crisp and clean. It's kind of impossible. So they ride that line in the middle of it's this nice chocolatey coffee kind of thing happening, but you can just keep drinking it probably faster than necessary, but that's subjective, and we don't need to worry about that right now. But yeah, I'm very happy to be enjoying this evening. I'm gonna drink it probably quicker than I should. Here we go. I
keep trying to think of like food analogies. Like a stout is homemade manicotti. And this is a caprese salad. Similar ingredients, similar flavors, but one of them you can eat, and then you can do yoga afterwards. If you eat manicotti, that is yoga. You're done.
You're done. You're stretching the inside of your body, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. And so a quick note on the style. Every once in a while, we turn to the BJCP for its wisdom. And you may be thinking, like, Schwarz beer, what does that mean? How can I get one? Are there similar styles if you can't? Really, there are. It's kind of part of a larger dark lager category. The Schwarz beer being a dark German lager that's balances roasty, smooth malt flavors, and moderate hop bitterness. A close cousin would be the Munich Dunkels. We spoke of that before, which is another dark. Dunkel just means dark. Munich, obviously a city in Germany, so a dark lager, but it's not as roasty. That one will lean more on the smooth side of things compared to the Schwarz beer. And then you see a fair amount of dark American lagers too. And those can lean even more on the sweeter side. So this has kind of got that roast where other darker lagers may not. And that's kind of the biggest difference of a traditional Schwarz beer. That roast note pops in there more than other similar styles.
I get that in the taste too. It's not just, I mean, it's not just dark in color. There's a lot of cold brew coffee. Like I get a lot of similarities here. And when I think about the last Dunkel I had, it was smoother. It didn't have the coffee. It didn't have that like roast coffee flavor. It was still good, but well, I wish we were doing a Dunkel right now too, so I could compare them back to back. Well, while we were eating manicotti,
that would be. We're going to be asleep 5 minutes in. Be watching 25 minutes of us sleeping, but it may attract a different crowd. Whatever. Open to new things. But yeah, this is delicious. Killed it again, Flying Machine. And if you're lucky to get your hands on these beers, keep an eye out for the rest of the Lager Mountain stuff they're doing. I mean, you're the lager people. We're trying to stay true to our word, and we're drinking more of them, and more to come with the Albie Bach battle that we're in the middle of. It's a lot of lager talk happening. Lager.
Yeah, last episode was a lager too, wasn't it? I feel like I should remember it better. Nope, it wasn't. It was an IPA.
That's right.
Okay.
Close enough.
That's the difference between the actual internet and the way my brain works, which is poor.
I love it.
So the feature here is the Schwarzbuckler Badge, which, aside from an excuse to talk about or like a pirate, this badge, as I said earlier in the show, you can earn it on Untappd. All you have to do is check into a Schwarz beer or a dark lager, which, if you'll take our word for it, is a delicious beer. I think, Harrison, you said it really well, like coming out of the cold of winter or coming into the warmth of summer, but not quite there yet. It's a good, like, transitional lager.
Yeah. One of my favorite
almost
beers.
Like a... we drank a beer that would have helped us earn this last season, did we not? Was it was the Haunted Allagash beer? Was that a dark lager? No, it was a black IPA.
Yeah, it was like a hoppy black ale. So they think they officially termed it. I love that. That's coming back. Made it on their official calendar. I saw on Twitter and tweeted them thank you, and they liked that tweet. So no big deal, but all
right.
With new packaging,
perhaps we'll give away a Harrison autograph for our next episode.
An autographed can of Haunted House. We may bring that back just because it's going to have new artwork on it. We'll see. But yeah, what I was going to say is that this is a favorite beer of mine for like the fire pit. I think it like goes well with the smoke-filled air and a cooler night, and I want to have a couple of beers by the fire, the Schwarz beer or a Dunkel really too. That's your Huckleberry right there. You want to saddle up with, it just again
Huckleberry, not a pirate term,
right? Yes. Well, did you argue that cowboys are like desert pirates? Let's not
land pirates,
right? Well, there's lots of land pirates, but perhaps of the desert region or the foothills, the rolling black hills of South Dakota, it would be a cowboy. But that's a yarn for another sweater. We'll get there someday, maybe. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you should watch the movie Tombstone, and if it's on TNT, you'll thank me 5 hours later. If it's on demand, you'll thank me 2.5 hours later.
But seriously, that's a great. Anytime you're watching a cowboy movie, spaghetti westerns, as my dad called all of them,
right?
Even the ones that weren't filmed in Italy. Anytime you're watching a cowboy movie, I think a black lager is great.
There you go.
It mixes so beautifully the dark roasty flavor of like of quote unquote being a man, and mixes it with like campfire lager, like macro beer, and it just marries those two things together in a way that you could drink these throughout Tombstone, and you'd probably feel great.
You would definitely feel great. You have a mustache by the end. If you didn't start with one, you'd have one by the end. This is a good mustache growing juice right here.
That's probably how they should market at least this particular beer, if not all black lager Schwarz beers.
Right. That's not a beer yet. It's only a matter of time, a beer name.
The beer tastes good. The mustache is coming. Have you earned a Schwarzbuckler badge yet, Harrison?
Indeed, I have. So I'm on level 3. I originally got it with the 1554 Enlightened Dark Ale from New Belgium, so their dark lager.
That's a great beer.
That's a big, I think a lot of people, that's kind of their gateway beer into dark lagers, because obviously it's well distributed from a great brewery. So you get your hands on that first, and you're thinking, what is this? Is it a stout? Nope. It kind of like we said, it's just really easy to drink, but it's got a lot of flavor and kind of tastes like a stout. So Glad that was on my list so far. That beer, it's worth it if you haven't checked it out and you're again curious. That might be the easiest one to get your hands on to work your way up into this badge. And one of my favorite beers that I had on the journey to getting to level 3 of the Schwarzbuckler Badge is a beer that Westbrook Brewing out of Mount Pleasant, South Carolina makes, called Dark Helmet. For all the Spaceballs fans out there, a perfect name for a Schwartz beer for many reasons. May the Schwartz be with us all. So grab that. I think it actually just got released again. I just saw a bunch of monthly check-ins pop up on Untappd. So they do it. It's kind of like an unofficial seasonal for them. I feel like it comes out around the end of winter every year. So it looks like it's back out in the market. Should grab some Dark Helmet, but there are lots of awesome, styles that fit this badge, or great representation of the style that help you level up this badge. What about you, John? How Schwartz buckled up are you? Where are you at in this journey?
Well, Harrison, let's find something else to talk about.
Let's not.
Okay, well, I tried. I have yet to earn this Schwarzbuckler badge, but I'm both proud and embarrassed to admit that I will be earning it on this specific check-in. This will be my 5th dark lager or qualified beer check-in to earn this badge. So right now I'm at 80% of level 1.
Perfect. We're making progress. That's all that matters. Moving forward.
The
Schwartz is
one of the beers
with you by the moment.
One of the beers we drank earlier or I should say later in season 3, Cool Ship Black Lager from OEC Brewing. That was one of the last ones I had that qualified for this badge, and it's one of the top rated dark lagers on Untappd.
Yeah, that was really cool. Obviously, having a Cool Ship anything is always interesting, but that was fun. Interesting carbonation on it, and OEC does just really crazy stuff. We talked about them a lot that episode, but that's a good one to revisit if it's been a bit, or if you're looking for more dark.
Or if you want to try and pronounce their real name, or it's Latin. You sound like you're casting a spell.
Right, and you may by accident if you say it wrong, so don't do that. Right, your Tupperware try to eat you while you're going to sleep. No random spell casting. No, thank you. Oh, that's awesome.
One of the beers I had that helped me get closer to leveling up this badge. I think I actually encountered this beer because I won a prize at Lowe's Foods and grocery chain in North Carolina.
Yeah.
It was called Black Radish beer from Weeping Radish Brewery in North Carolina.
Nice.
And it's on the BJCP guide for the style. But I think what's even cooler about Weeping Radish is that brewery began in the middle of the 1980s. It was opened up by a Bavarian U.S. immigrant named Uli. I won't butcher his last name, but he came here and he said, man, back home in where I live, there's breweries all over, and here in North Carolina there aren't. And then he learned that there was a bunch of legal things in the way to that. So Uli was really impactful in the state of North Carolina, helping get those laws changed. And I think he was one of the first breweries in North Carolina to open Weeping Radish up there towards the Outer Banks.
Wow. Cheers to you, Uli. Yes. Now here we are, able to enjoy awesome beers like this, also from North Carolina. Cool as heck. Well, thanks for that, John. Got some more wisdom, knowledge, things we want to share with you guys in this week's Verified Venue Highlight. We're traveling even farther than Bavaria, going into the deep Urals and the mountains and doesn't matter. Anyway, we're going to Moscow, Russia. Not Ohio or wherever the other one is. New York. Is there a romantic comedy about that? Not important.
I'll have what she's having.
It was a mac and cheese cheeseburger. That's they don't tell you that, but that's why she was freaking out so much. A deadly combination for anyone in any decade. So we want to talk about Share House today. So that's the name of this verified venue. They are in Moscow, Russia. And when John and I were looking at how the Drinking Socially badge for season 4 was performing, you can kind of see in those statistics where people are earning the badge the most. And we were surprised to see that Share House, which again is in Russia, at the top with, as of recording this, 77 different check-ins have the Share House, which unlocked the Drinking a level or of the Drinking Socially season 4 badge. And we kind of thought, or I did initially, like, wow, all the way in Russia, it must be like from Anchor's team, which we did on episode 1, or I mean, that was really my only thought, because that's a very widely distributed beer. Nope. They had Android Theory's Dia de los Muertos Ghost 906 that you did just a couple episodes ago, which is, in my eyes, like a super rare, right, like beer that I can't believe even leaves the U.S., but it did, and people are crushing it at Share House in Moscow. So that was pretty cool. Also, the Share House is it's very often a global trending venue on Untappd. So it's easy. It's easy to see why when you kind of look at their menu on their verified venue page. You see Mikkeller, Founders, and Upland with like their cellared stuff, not like the core beers. Red Button Brewery. There are a ton of breweries that I wish I could get my hands on that they have, in spades all the time. So pretty cool stuff if you dive into it deeper. They're definitely getting the hookup. And I mean, not for nothing, John, you can probably expand on this a little bit more, but Moscow is like a crazy city when it comes to Untappd users and verified venues. I've never been there, but I could probably go and just use Untappd the whole time I was there and spend a year and not, still be able to use the app to find new places.
You might not find the Kremlin on Untappd, but there are right now, I think, 77 verified venues in Moscow, which is a lot to most of us that use Untappd here in the States. But in Moscow, or I would even wager all of my Untappd friends that are Russian have maxed out almost. They're always when the year in beer comes. It's like me playing horse against Michael Jordan, and they're like, "Oh, that's cute. Yeah, you've checked into 300 beers this year. I did that on a Tuesday while I worked. Amazing. It's amazing." But also, I mean, Moscow's a modern, it's a beautiful city that people should visit. And even if you don't want to go there to shop, the beer scene in Moscow rivals any in the U.S. or the world. And one funny, nerdy kind of history fact, Share House, the venue that Harrison's highlighting, is very frequently trending on Untappd, like one of the most popular checked-in venues in the world. And Share House, as I understand it, comes from early 1900s. They were actually communal apartments where almost like your college dorm experience or something, where you would have like public areas and then you would have your own place. And I don't know, because I'm just speculating, but I would like to think that this Share House verified venue in Moscow kind of draws on that sort of communal, where you come to the Share House to hang out with friends and socialize, and there's like a community built into that, which I thought was really cool. Yeah,
it's awesome.
And I didn't know.
Yeah, right. And it's more than just a beer bar. It's a coffee shop. It's a snack bar. It's a bottle shop. It's like 2 or 3 stories of fun stuff to do. So if you're there, check it out. It'll be easy to find. It'll be probably trending locally on your phone. It'll be on the map in Untappd. I mean, all that stuff. So that was cool to see and pop up as we were looking at the Drinking Socially badge and where it was all happening. Moscow's having a blast right now, so good for them.
That's nice too, with the time difference. Like when we're kind of settling down over here, Moscow, St. Petersburg gets a lot of check-ins. There's a couple of cities in the Ukraine. It's cool on Untappd just checking out those popular venues and seeing what people are drinking and where they're drinking. And is somebody that lives here in the States, I get jealous when I see people, 10 miles down the road drinking beer that I can't get, or 5 states away from me that I can't get. Good luck if you start looking at like Untappd in Moscow and in Norway and in Sweden. It's just jealousy all over the place.
Yep. Indeed it is.
But as we close this episode, Harrison, I'm really sad that I didn't get more pirate Harrison in this episode. Perhaps we'll see it on one of your hop take videos coming up soon on YouTube if we're lucky.
Maybe.
I am glad that we did get to drink this amazing beer out of a full glass this time, done with the taster badge, and done with the Schwarzbuckler badge. And now I want to visit Moscow, not just for the chests and the mules there, but because it's an amazing place for beer. Nazdrobia is what I would like to be saying as I stumble back home, wherever I may be staying for the couple of days.
Right.
Yeah, hopefully there's a room I can rent at the share house, or a bar stool that'll hold me over till the morning.
Yeah.
If you want to visit the share house, we're not giving away free tickets to Russia, but you can follow us on Twitter, on Instagram. You can go to podcast.untappd.com and you'll see all the show notes for every episode we do. There's links to our YouTube channel in there. And especially check out the Facebook group, because Harrison, what's going on in there?
That's right. So we got a poll going for what should the next couple badges be that we're going to do on the upcoming podcast episode. So if you haven't voted on it yet, jump on that poll, make your vote count, and so you can see what we'll do next week.
Until next time, don't be a landlubber and shiver me timbers, or I'll call you a son of a biscuit eater.
Ugh. I think I am a son of a biscuit eater. My son is the son of a biscuit eater. I love biscuits. I don't know what that means in pirate talk. In this house, it just means we're having a fun Saturday morning and pass the jelly. But anyway, cheers, everybody.
Nostrovia.